I believe we can probably talk about how Netherlands versus Australia, right? Because there's still like just about a minute before the match completely starts. You know, quite a bit of a decently gap seeded teams here, 32 and 17 respectively. You know, there's some funny happenings in there.
Yeah, the lineups are comprised of both some unknown players in the tournament scene and some really vetted veterans. Scheurer, for example, on the Netherlands is probably going to be one of the most seasoned players on the field. Samuel H. Kelampes also is really seasoned as a tournament player. Freek is more of a 7K player, but also knows how to play 4K. Also a seasoned player. The other players I'm not too familiar with. I met Onto at DOE actually. Really cool guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. I know that one especially, but I think for Australia as well. I mean, forgive me for any Australians out there watching, but I feel like Australia's team is mostly, I guess, comprised of like a 7-key 2024 because Oct4 plays in like 7-key, Ruka plays in 2024 as well. I believe Ira might have signed up for them for the 7-key as well, so they might have been quite. They can play literally quite anything. So essentially, they can just play anything. But in the context of the 4-key, they are pretty wild cardish. They're kind of all over the place actually. So you can kind of check that you know, their skill sets might have not been too different from each other. But moving that, you get to see the rolls, and I believe Netherlands and Australia tied, so they get a 2 re-roll. So
yeah, we do
Australia
not see
wins
ties.
actually.
We do not see ties too often in rolls, so actually witnessing the rolls and how they can tie is actually pretty exciting to start off a match.
Even then, the re-rolls is like 67 to 63, which is not that far off from the tie.
Yeah,
so is this confirmed that this is going to be a tiebreaker or something?
Yeah, I really hope the match really goes as close as the rolls.
Yeah, going into such lengths would be kind of funny, but nevertheless, we're still gonna have to go into the entire match to see that. But we'll see the protects here from Australia here. We're gonna see Blue Passe being protected by Australia. Might not be the first. Well, I guess there's only like 2 matches, but protected tech is not something to see very often. But we see a protect for Horizon Blue for Netherlands, so we're going for the SV route, kind of.
Yeah, I think Australia is counting on their strengths as a Rice-oriented lineup, and I think, in terms of Rice at least, I think they might be afraid of the Netherlands getting a decent enough accuracy to maintain good consistency either on the streams, the core jacks, or the jump stream. Netherlands, on the other hand, specialist country, again, SV, LNs, perhaps hybrid, gonna ban the least straightforward Rice A.
And Netherlands gonna be banning A, which understandably so, because they don't want any unpredictability towards towards Rice scores. But I think Australia is pretty clear on what they're gonna go ban, right? At this point, if they're protecting SV, I don't think chances are less cadence or SV2 is gonna be banned, right?
Yeah, are we gonna get the 100%
there we
ban
go.
rate? 100% ban rate. Let's fucking go. Oh my god.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The first swear of the tournament now. All right. The trifecta.
I didn't even learn around the 32. How did I break this spell?
The trifecta of banning less cadets, you know, the SV2 thing. I guess people really do not like the OS original, huh?
Okay, this match is gonna be really interesting to see, I think.
Hey! I mean,
Australia.
I mean, hey, in the chat there, can someone get a hammer on that one, saying the OS original is something else?
god.
Alright, they're gonna go with the jump stream right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that they are going with jump stream first rather than tech, considering where their protect went. But maybe they just want to get it out of the way.
I mean, seeing, I believe Australia is pretty cut and dry in terms of their three-player team for their rice picks.
Randomizer sends his regards.
Yeah, there you go. There's your public service announcement that we're not calling Osu Original something else, you know, because that's a work of art. You cannot say custom, because everything else in this pool are, well, not everything else. 90% of them are custom. I could say that. Not illegally obligated to say that.
Yeah, I think it goes from it comes from the desire to separate custom maps. Like custom maps are maps that are made for a tournament, but not necessarily on original songs. Osu originals, however, are songs that are entirely made for the tournament, and therefore also mapped for the tournament. Like everything is made for MWC or any World Cup that is.
Absolutely, and yeah, there's your there's your a little bit of an intermission before we go in on to the match, but we're still waiting for one player for the Netherlands. I'm not sure if it's gonna be Medley. Yeah, there you go, Medley going for the Netherlands team as a 3-player team for mostly Rice. I would like to say that.
Yeah, that does look like their usual Rice lineup. Australia is going to be interesting to see how well they can perform in a round of 16 map pool. I know Oct4 has been making strides in the Asian Suichi Cup, apparently being really good, surprisingly so from the bottom seed, I would say. But
I mean, in terms of like their skill set, it's just coming down from like 70 to 4 key. It's just very easy to translate that into 4 key, although it depends on the density. And I feel like for Oct4's case, playing a lot of 4K does just do work wonders. The question would be if the tournament consistency allows that to catapult himself up.
Yeah, I'm just really curious to see where the physicality of both countries lie, because that also is gonna spell their path towards quarterfinals. Quarterfinals is gonna get really hard. There's a bump of difficulty incurred by people getting eliminated. So getting rid of the lower seeds and just. Natural selection, I want to say, through raw skill.
Starting up kind of a little bit dicey because the score difference is literally 0 right now.
And
alright, jump stream starts to kick in.
Mad Leap, no, that was bad. That was a bad miss.
That's one miss from the Netherlands side. And yeah, it's just one though, although even then, that's still just pretty much the very first entry into the jump stream. There's still quite a bit to go though.
Okay, for now, Australia is looking really solid. Every one of their players at least has 99.8. Just at the lowest, looking at 99.80, just dipping a little bit below the 99.8. We'll see if that lasts through the entire 3 minutes and 39 seconds.
Yeah, Iron's battling it out with Shorter, but Samuel is taking the second miss from the Netherlands side there. And with the lowest accuracy to boot. And there's no full combos on the Netherlands side. Australia's keeping strong with their combos there.
Yeah, Shora's miss was very, very clean. Like 99.8. Keeping 99.8 despite the miss is really the cleanest miss you can get. Samuel, however, I feel like they're battling for stamina right now.
I would also say Natalie also has like very the drop is pretty much clean. It's still like around 99.7 territory, but even then, there's still you have to contend with like a 25,000 points of difference right now, and that's like a 3FC from Australia. It's just already hard to beat.
Yeah, emptiness being at 99.75 compared to 99.8 at the beginning kind of shows that stamina and consistency does have a play in how this pick is handled, and definitely the stamina element is playing.
Multiple draws by Shoira there, actually. There's like, I think that might have been like a couple of 50 and a miss there, so that's a 34,000 point lead. The lead's gonna go growing. Even this last patch of jumpsuit is not gonna change very much.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see that many misses from Shoira, but Shoira is keeping on getting some clean misses. But Iron gonna break the team combo on Australia's side. Unfortunately, another miss. The consistency, the stamina, it's giving up. Docked 4!
Oh, wow. Alcor missed? Actually, there's like 3 or 4 misses by Iron there. Even that drop is relatively clean because that's still like a 99.74. And I would at least say that Emptiness is going to take the MVP actually. Even with the lowest accuracy on the team to boot. But that's still really rough on the stamina.
Yeah, you can see like those accuracies from Australia's side. No one from Australia has above 6,200s really. Those are really clean outside of the outside of the misses, and definitely Samuel a little bit behind in terms of physicality, unfortunately for the Netherlands, and that is probably their biggest weakness.
I believe that SB is the next pick for Netherlands. I don't think they're gonna want to waste time baiting on the physicality of these players, especially. I have a sinking feeling that that might be the case.
Or they might go with Elen. Elen is also a reasonable choice coming from Netherlands' perspective. It's less physical, and it has more chances of upsetting Australia as well. So Elen too.
Pacheco Shawase. I'm not sure if this is a decent choice. Because conversely, Australia also has a really solid LN team score there.
I mean, they don't really have a choice. They have to challenge Australia on something.
If they're testing the waters this early on, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, we'll see how Australia's on.
Oh, that's
might be
three players
entire roster switch for LN.
So let's see. We got Ruka. Well, I guess it's Full Hearted, but I'm not even sure if Full Hearted plays LN in particular. Full Hearted has been playing as V for like round 32. Oh, of course, coming back in. I believe Ruka might be the one, unless I'm missing someone else.
Ruka wouldn't be surprised if he's on Australia's side.
Oh, it's actually Iron this time. Just only one player swap then.
Okay. That's how it is.
Yeah, seems like the Netherlands will probably just going to be staying the same roster for the 3-man team. and just Australia just only have a one player swap. Or not, maybe two player swap actually, I don't know.
Some last minute changes here. I think
Alright, there you go.
yeah, I think some scores during training might be close enough that Australia is hesitating on the roster.
Well, we already seen Aqua and Ruka in the 7 key action, and we already seen 4 key in around the 32, so this might be very similar to see now.
Yeah, 7 key players tend to be also LN players by sheer coordination ability.
Nikar has a rocky start at the intro there, actually. 98.3 now. Keeps dropping, actually. I'm not too sure with the timing there, because the releases might have been all over the place.
Yeah, Samuel is gonna actually battle with against Nick in terms of accuracy, but Nick does have a substantial disadvantage in terms of accuracy for now, but all of the full combos are still intact on either side.
What I'm worried about is that the significant LN density in this might have prompting Nick Haran's releases to be kind of all over the place because of different LN ends there, which is not improving that much.
Yeah, but the advantage on the Australia side is thanks to Octor and Rufus. Absolutely
yes,
tremendous performances.
Score lead goes to Netherlands, but even then, that's still just a tinge of a flick.
Yeah, it's a really different dynamic because Australia has 2 players to pull their team ahead, but Netherlands is a little bit more cohesive.
God, it's still flickering.
99.
No! Melee! Melee with a miss. That might actually spell doom there for Netherlands. Because Nick Haran is still with the FC even with the 98.82. Although, if accuracy is gonna still tanking there, there's still a chance for them to come back from sheer accuracy alone. There's a miss by Nick there!
I think there are at least 400 note counts. Netherlands still has a chance if the accuracy goes their way, but not really.
Ruka and Alport is really carrying Nick there. 6,000 point lead. Ruka with a V1 SS.
Wow, Samuel with the full combo, but the ratio do be looking a little bit different. However, a little bit similar to Nick, really. So it's a very interesting dynamic to see between the two.
1-to-1 basically on terms of the ratio, and then the 300 the 200 count. Even the 200 count is a little bit lagging, but the ratio is also might be a little bit worse for wear. But Australia's managed to maybe maybe slide it out by the skin of their teeth, actually.
Nonetheless, that was a breakpoint for Australia, 2-0 right now. But I do believe that the Netherlands has a solid chance of getting some points back in the LN category.
Although, yeah, Australia still does have Willafase as their protect. I don't know if they were gonna go with the LNs just to make sure they already have a solid lead in terms of how they perform among us in general, or they're just gonna go still stay with the Rice.
I think Rice 1 is by far their best deck, considering how Rice 2 went.
I guess so. There's a solid chance that Willafase was like protect. It ends up being very choke heavy, and Netherlands banned A for that reason. And I'm going for Korjax actually, huh?
I think that's also a decent pick in terms of physicality. Although it's a little bit more risky because Korjax is just so different from Stream.
Korjax is just Korjax. It's just it's whether you hit a 50 or a miss, or you just don't have ratio and then you just hit everything. There's nothing in between.
I love how the difficulty names are basically shoutouts to other maps.
Yeah, Easter egg, man. Come on. Are we just gonna be naming Easter eggs for every single reform charge? You know, that's kind of the point, actually. Yeah.
Australia with the English word lineup right here. Iron, full-hearted, and emptiness. Those are all in the dictionary.
That is actually true. Actually, yeah. I haven't seen Full Hearted play Korjak, so this could be interesting. Although I mean the intro is just basically what it is. Although there might be some like couple that is not Korjaks, maybe some like burst of 1/4 strings and whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the accuracy just settles, especially with those bursts, which are a little bit uncertain.
Until with the first miss there.
Yeah, the uncertainty just settles in the beginning right here. Onto not on a great start, but can still recover if any of the other Australian players catch the misses.
Luckily, it's just the very first 300 nodes, so that even you really kind of don't want to miss, don't you? Because of the Korjak nature. Although Onto is recovering quite nicely actually with 99.6, and Full Hearted's now taking I guess the second miss of the match actually, or I guess in terms of FC, or there's only like 2 or FCs on this lobby.
Yeah, that was a fairly messy miss, dropping from 99.7 to 99.6. And if Onto can recover that accuracy, I think that lead can shift.
The lead is now actually start to shift right now, because actually now the accuracies are starting to grow from Netherlands, and meanwhile Emptiness is kind of sustaining 99.8 for a long time, but now the lead starts to shift. Full Hearted with the second miss there. Now this is actually looking good for Netherlands, although I wouldn't call it too much because that lead is still not too much.
Yeah, the break is going to be the hottest part of the map because the focus is all over the place. People might be looking at scores. Do not look at the other team's score, please.
9,000 Foilian, the least growing. Full Heart is not at the 400 yet, but it's starting to show now. But there's still like a couple 100, 200 nodes remaining, and yeah, I think that might seal it.
Yeah, that's gonna be another breakpoint in a row for the Netherlands, and Madeleef's performance right now just making the difference for Netherlands. 996k. Also Scheuer's performance really good, 994, also making a huge difference here. Iron of the only double S in the lobby.
Madeleef with very strong showing with 996k, beating out Emptiness there. For player, I would say the top row and the bottom row is pretty much player for player. And point on the board for the Netherlands.
Yeah, let's go. Not a sweep, not a sweep. And it goes to show that even seed 32 can challenge seed 17 on a pick such as Korjak. So it goes to show that even like this is the name of early game. Any country can surprise us with some really stellar performances.
Let's see what we have. Given Ellen's not in their favor, although almost, because the three-man comp from the Australian side might have been a little bit interesting to say the least. Now they're going for boost anima here, huh? Okay, still on the Ellens. Are they really picking this because they know their comp their team comps now, or it's just that they're very very good at it and they're able to challenge Aqua and Ruka.
Well, considering the performance on LN2, I think their judgment told them that it was challengeable. I think especially if Nick is coming back, Samuel can challenge Nick and therefore make it a battle of survival essentially. And if Shoira can recover some of that accuracy, also gets less 200s than before, this might be a good call for him now.
Well, I think it doesn't seem that Nick is coming back in. This time it's Iron. Because I know Aqua and Ruka should be able to play this on the Australian side. Seems to be waiting on now. Ruka's going now and going back in. All four, there you go. And I believe Iron will be staying in instead of Nick because performance-wise might be this is a little different. Well, not a little different, a very different chart from like longer density. It's just mainly release and coordination heavy. Alright, play should be good to go now.
We are getting ready, and I'm looking forward to see where this pick goes because, as I say, on paper this can be advantageous towards the Netherlands, but we saw how LN2 went, so anything can happen here.
I mean, so far I haven't seen Ruka miss on any long note picks so far. That's just goes to show the consistency for Ellens is it's just insane. And even Ruka with like a V1 double S on the longer density, so that just tells alone that even with kind of long, tricky long notes, he doesn't even too faced by it actually.
Let's see how the trend goes, but right now it is looking eerily similar between the two teams, trading the lead back and forth.
Yeah, Samuel has a very good opening this time around. Now, even not kind of suffering than like longer density one because of the very different release timings. Although this is the same, except you have a lot more breathing room.
Oh,
Iron with a miss actually.
Iron.
Alright, Iron looking good, but the accuracy is still above average for, I guess, Netherlands. Natalie with a miss. Iron with a trade.
Yeah, that's a trade. That's actually a trade. That's still good for Netherlands on paper. Let's look at the accuracies right now. It is
oh my god.
Towards Australia right now, so Australia still has the occasion to
Natalie with another one.
Oh
Short
no.
with a miss. The Netherlands are falling apart. Netherlands are falling apart here. Samuel is the only one in the FC. Bottom row, it seems like Ruka and All4 is they're just doing things.
Yeah, no, like the consecutive misses on Netherlands' side really gave Australia that 13k lead right now. But it can go the
Iron
other way
with a miss
as
again.
well. Like, if Iron continues to miss, that can go the other way. Like, you see how that lead is shrinking right now. There's still a substantial amount of the map left.
Although we're running out of time here, there's still like a 10,000 point lead. Iron have missed like 3 to 4 times. There's a couple 200s over there, but even then, you have to contend with the other misses. With Shora with another one with a missed boot.
Yeah, but Iron also catches the same misses.
Still trading misses back and forth, but even then, the other 3 players who are also holding FCs are also not escape unscathed, basically. Shora with a miss on the releases.
Yeah, no, that's really unfortunate for the Netherlands. They had a good thing going towards the beginning, but the fact that Ruka and Oct4 are still cruising ahead at 99.64 and 63 respectively, is just netting them the win for this pick. Another breakpoint on the LNs. That is unfortunate for the LNs.
Very good job for Samuel to be able to hold on to their FC. Ruka and Awkward scores are just very similar to each other.
Yeah, I think it's looking a little bit disappointing for Shoira. I know Shoira is definitely able to get a better performance than this, but it is 1 p.m. right now in the Netherlands, so maybe the hunger is selling in. The bad weather, the bad European weather is having a role in the European performance. Also can speak clearly here.
Going for Boulefassé, the Protect by Australia finally coming in now. And did you know that so far we haven't seen 2 hybrids on the top there? We already see introduction, but not the 2 hybrids above it.
Yeah, no, like, I think the hybrids, I think we haven't gone far enough in the matchups that the hybrids were necessary to pull out. Like, the hybrids, especially hybrid 1 and 2, are elements that strategically you will want to pull out later in the game.
This seems like, interestingly enough, Nick Howard is now playing for the Boulefassé with a tech pick now. Not Oxford this time.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to see. It kind of goes to show that Australia's lineup is actually pretty versatile. Like, Nick went in for the LM2, Nick is also going in for the technical pick. So it's really good to show that it's not Rice versus LN. In terms of lineups, it's a lot more than that.
So, with this in mind, I would say that the chances are, if Nick is able to hang on with the accuracy, this can go very well. I'm just very anxious to see because the chokes can come into play.
Yeah, the misses can definitely come into play, and the misses did come into play in Rise 3, the core jack, and it's gonna look way more different in this one. But I believe that coming from the previous matches where the misses did matter in the outcome of the point, I think in this match it's also going to be the case, especially considering the lower seeds.
Yeah, we see after maybe some desyncs earlier on, should be good to go, I think. Alright, should be okay. There you go. Mirror this time for Onto now. Kind of a rocky start for Nick and Onto there, with the 99.1 respectively. Although that's going to change because it's just the intro, basically. Trails kind of do have some funny things in there.
Yeah, I think the battle is going to be between Onto and Nick in terms of accuracy. But the accuracy is not the name of the game here. It's especially going to be how everyone on the board is maintaining their combos.
Onto with a bad entry with a miss there.
Man, I just had to talk about combo.
Well, now they're not. So it's still, even that, I believe that act, even with the miss, it's still not too far off from Nick's accuracy actually. Even still with holding a full combo solidly.
Yeah, we're not into the hardest parts of the map yet, and well.
Onto with a bad miss again. 3.
And, that's 3 misses in total. Not looking good.
Holding on to the mini jack is really taxing, especially because reading some of these can be a nightmare. Nightmare on this, but even then, it's still really hard to get through. Nick actually massive misread there.
Yeah, a massive drop in accuracy from Nick, but it's not going to be enough for Netherlands to catch the lead back up, and onto just accumulating those misses, unfortunately.
Really solid performance there for all four players. Natalie, Shoyer, Iron, and Emptiness there with the respective FCs. It's really, really rough to see. Those misses are just coming from the transitions on the onto side there.
Yeah, like on paper you see those accuracies, and on paper they're more or less the same, I would say. Like Onto matches Nick, Shora matches Iron, and they have similar scores as well. And Madleaf is also sort of matching Emptiness, but there is margin of error that allows Netherlands to get a point on any remaining pick, especially Supernova.
Yeah, with that being said, that's Australia's Protect done and dusted. That's a very good win for their Protect. Netherlands still doesn't pick their Protect, so it might be a good time to pick now because potentially, yeah, there you go, Horizon Blue.
SV1. I'm looking forward to see how the training paid off, especially for the Netherlands. The Netherlands have been continuously training over the years on SG, and they've been, again, a specialist country.
I mean, no doubt, Australia will be having full-hearted playing this now. Yep, full-hearted is in now. And maybe Encore, I would say. Yep, there you go. Yeah, I believe this time Freak is now probably for the first time I've seen entering the lobby now for playing on ESP.
It's kind of funny to think Freek as an SV player of all things. Like, Freek used to be pivotal for LNs, especially in the past years, but
oh yeah,
now just an SV player. It's really funny to see.
All right, let's see how this goes for the SV. Although we're starting off with a couple notes missing, maybe not entirely the intro. Although kind of be dupe. Not sure what Okfor's deal is. Oh, hang on. So he starts playing after. So he first. So he's playing after the first 30 notes missing.
Oh no! Is that the side tree? Oh no.
I mean, I don't think it's a Syri. He probably forgot to play the first 30 notes.
Might be, actually.
If he can get through the SV's fine, then it's not a side. Oh, even then, that's still like a insurmountable lead though. Netherlands. It's still not it's not gonna be a restart because it's already far into the map.
No, I do believe that. Anyways, let's watch Netherlands' performance on this one. Very cohesive, and Shoyora also showing their speciality here. Shoyora has always been an outstanding SV player, really.
Frick with the lowest FC, and you know, even with lowest FC, it still beats out almost every single Australian players there. Yeah, at this point, there's not much to talk about after when you notice that Awkward might be quote-unquote side reading. I'm not even sure that's the case. But regardless, that's still quite a lead there.
Yeah, it's just a little break in between very high octane, high density map. Just something.
Well, Awkward hits that SV though, so I'm not too sure that's that's not a side read. It's just kind of lazily being put out.
I do think that some of those transitions are lenient enough that you can get them on side read.
Yeah, that's the first day that I've seen on every on what 2 or 3 years at this point. Nah, probably like 2 years ago. But that's the 3 point for Netherlands. So hopefully, they'll be able to think about their next move there. But Australia's picked now.
Yeah, it's Australia's turn to shine. 4-2, still 2 points to go for Australia to get that sweet victory. That sweet
And
survival win in the losers bracket.
yeah, especially for getting Australia getting 2 more points to beat Netherlands. That'll be a trifecta of 6-2. You know, New Zealand, Italy 6-2. Vietnam, yeah, yeah, 6-2 as well. And then this one might be 6-2 as well. So that's a trifecta. But it depends on Netherlands for be able to maybe get a break point from Australia. At this point, there's only one long node pick left for Netherlands to be able to play, and the rest is just hybrid.
Yeah, I would say the Netherlands would be able to get the break points on either Rice 5, maybe Rice 1 if Australia misses enough, but also the hybrids look very challengeable if Combo gets to play here.
Iron. So apparently, they practice the other SV, but they kind of, they didn't protect the SV. So why would you do that? All right, there you go with the last rice. Oh, not right, last rice, but Supernova still exists there. But the stream pick that is not a dumb, or almost like a dumb.
Yeah, I think on paper that's probably the best Australian pick. It's physical, it's straightforward, and they had the advantage in terms of physicality.
And it's almost like very split trail heavy for stream pick. Well, I mean that's understandable because introducing Mini Jack into the stream at 320 doesn't sound like a good idea, especially for round of 16. Yeah, this is pretty much the same 6-player lobby for every single Rice team. Well, not really, because Nick and Onto played Pulapase earlier. But this is mostly that, the 6-man. Alright, there you go. Still looking to see if they can get to 5-2 and get to a potential match point.
Let's see how this goes.
Oh yeah, I mean this is just pretty much what you were expecting on the intro to do very well on, because the stream picks up at the first third and the last third of the song, and that's pretty much where the difficulty lies.
It's really funny to see how a 0-point lead looks on the overlay. It's just like no minus.
0-point lead is just 0. There's no bar, there's no red bar, there's no blue bar. There's no bolded text either. So
it's just very neutral. It's very rare to see, but it is entirely possible on the Mania.
Well,
Mania
almost. Almost. We've seen like 1 3-point differences the last year and 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think
although we get into the streams now.
1 point difference, like 1 point team difference in the past.
Everyone's hitting the streams like really, really well, actually, I would say.
Yeah, I think like Shoira and Foxball are battling from the bottom here.
Oh my god, everyone hit that!
Yeah, it's all very closely tied together, and Madleaf is leading the pack for the Netherlands, and Shoira and Samuel are trying to survive, whereas Australia has a little bit a tiny bit different of a dynamic, but it's also looking very similar.
I mean, let me quickly clarify that last two matches so far, everyone at least missed once on the very first stream. This match, this one, there's no misses on the first stream.
Yeah, I think the stakes are really high. Like the Netherlands has an occasion to get it back, to get a break point
Emptiness
back
in the first miss.
Oh god, that's actually really unexpected. I expected the Netherlands to kind of fall back in terms of physicality, but it's actually Australia that's going to fall down.
Natalie is battling against Iron, Samuel is battling against Shoya and battling against all four. It's just that one miss, literally what makes up the difference.
Oh my god.
Everyone is still hitting them!
That's a surprise and a half here. I thought Australia had this in the bag, but no. It's no.
Shoya Samuel!
I had to open my mouth!
Oh no, Italy is gonna ship back to Australia! At the very end of it!
Way.
Australia stole it back, and it's denies the break point. Australia wins 5-2, and it's on match point.
The Netherlands just had to last 10 more seconds in order to get the break point, but they fell at the last minute. There were 100 notes, 200 notes maybe, remaining, but no, it was not meant to be, unfortunately.
That was a heartbreaking situation. That could have been a very close break point. But at the end of it, Samuel and Shoya missed at the very same spot. Not very same spot, it's just 6 notes apart, given their combos.
I'm just so devastated for the Netherlands. They were doing incredibly well on this pick as well, considering their physicalities.
That is their best chance to break point, and they just let it slip. Even though that's not their pick, it's still a very good chance to take that, and they did.
Yeah, that's also a very good sign to come for Rise 5. Like the remaining Rise, I think it's going to be very, very challengeable for the Netherlands. If they have the same kind of performance, if it is as risky as for Australia as it is for the Netherlands, I think like that's either gonna mean Australia is gonna pick Rise and just put themselves at risk, or they're gonna go into hybrid, and that's gonna introduce a whole new dynamic. What? Excuse me? What?
There's the last Rice pick. Yep. I mean, they've been doing really well on the thing. I would say they would probably gamble on that now.
That's actually crazy. That's actually crazy that the Netherlands themselves are going for the last Rice pick instead of Helen.
Nick and Onto is now coming back in. I have a sinking feeling that this might end up as Bullet said earlier. I don't want to wish that, but it can potentially happen. See, the thing is that if Netherlands wins this, Australia might have only have one more option left, and it's the LN. Unsurprisingly.
No, but Australia picking LN is gonna be a little bit counterintuitive. I wanna say that they will be more tempted to explore the hybrids, but also the hybrids is a complete unknown in terms of outcome.
It could turn into a very, very good golden chance, or it took a complete nosedive.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes from here, because I think this single point is going to determine the rest of the match.
I'm like some kind of supernova. Watch out. Look at me go.
I'm actually kind of terrified because I thought it's Samuel playing, but then it's not too far off.
Yeah, now Oxford with a false start, maybe catching a 200 on the first note.
Oh yeah, might be switching out with Nick Howard at the very last second, or I'm not sure if that's the case, but even then, that's still a lead. That's still a lead for Netherlands, not by very much though.
Yeah, for
I'm
now.
still terrified.
Yeah, it's looking really scary, and anything can go wrong at any time.
Not the leads switching over. Shora might have picked up a couple 200s there. Not at a 99.8 territory anymore. That's still not a lead.
Yeah, it's up to Iron and Emptiness to lead the pack for Australia.
Oh, the lead switching! The lead switching back! On top with a very bad drop!
Yeah, that's like a 0.1% accuracy
Oh,
drop, but
sure.
Shoira does the same.
Shora is also falling apart with a miss of their own. Onto's miss was actually rather weird there because it's not even on the stream. And now the second miss goes back into its play.
That is heartbreaking for the Netherlands. I think they had on paper the potential to challenge Australia in terms of accuracy, but the combo breaks are just not helping them.
A lot of couple misses there for Onto there. It's not gonna really help much. Australia is gonna take this a trifecta win, 6-2 for the last 3 matches.
Yeah, I think comparing the accuracies, I think in the end Australia had it, and it might be the fault of the physicality and the stamina. The sheer physicality of the map pool just not being at the advantage of the Netherlands, but the Netherlands really fought well and had some really, really close calls. It had the potential to be a tiebreaker.
Yeah, very congratulations for Australia for moving on to the quarterfinals there. Still have one more fight in their hands, but unfortunately Netherlands will have to be knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah, honestly, well played to all players involved in this match. Australia is going to go ahead and fight someone. I do not have the bracket in front of my eyes. Just to some country in the world in the quarterfinals, and the Netherlands is unfortunately going to be eliminated from the tournament.
You're fighting someone. You mean finding a team country, not necessarily someone. That would be kind of wild. But Australia. Whole country versus one, I agree. Yeah. Anyways, Australia has a really decent chance actually, coming with their performances on the round 16. I would highly anticipate that the quarterfinals is probably going to be the same thing, except maybe the Bulls definitely will have to challenge their mid-game now on the lower bracket, especially.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they fare, how they scale, especially since the quarterfinals are gonna be way harder than the round of 16, and seeing them already falter in terms of scaling on round of 16 is just looking very interesting for quarterfinals, I would say.
Yeah, and now we do have a little bit of an hour break before there are 2 sets of matches here. We gotta have UK versus Singapore, and then Finland versus Sweden. Almost a Scandinavian, kind of the Scandinavian team fighting for their lives there, which is about like a 13 UTC, I would say, like about an hour from there. But that is pretty much it. We're gonna have a little bit of an hour break before we were able to give a little bit of insight for those 2 matches in particular. I believe we're also gonna have another stream setup for the other match as well. I'd say maybe don't quote me on that, but hopefully when there's a notification for the other stream to start, we will let you know about that.
Yeah, Finland versus Sweden is going to be casted here on Osu Live main channel, and the other channel, Osu Live _2, is going to host Great Britain versus Singapore.
Yeah, absolutely. And now there's still quite a bit of time to grab something to eat or do anything else to preoccupy your time there. Well, until then, do you have any other things to say before we probably have a little bit of a break?
how many banners are you gonna buy this year?
Probably more than one, I would say, because I haven't seen too much of it yet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of countries are still on the board right now, and it is the perfect occasion to show your support and get yourself a banner to kind of stack them, kind of like a Minecraft game, like a convoluted Minecraft game. You just put some blocks on top of another, and it looks pretty. Is that what Minecraft is about?
Well, if it's a game of stacking blocks, then maybe you can put it that way. Also, there's also extra privilege because if you're buying a banner for the winning country on this particular tournament, Forky World Cup 2024, you get to keep that banner for the next until maybe the next tournament starts. So there's an extra privilege to show off that your favorite team actually wins.
Yes, indeed. And with that, I think we can close this block of match and let you hopefully get a break, get hydrated, and get some food in your system, because it is very important to be alive to witness this tournament unfold.
Yeah. Absolutely, we're gonna close this out and take care, guys.
Bye bye.